South Florida. Gervonta Davis is accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend in Doral.
And this is not the first run-in with the law. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live outside of the jail in West Miami-Dade.
And I know you have some details on this latest arrest for the boxer, Roy.
Christy and Alexis, the charge he is facing is battery with domestic violence. And you mentioned this was an ex-girl.
Over the years, it's constantly going on the internet, take a shot at Floyd. Take a shot at Floyd. Take a shot at Floyd. Constantly be disrespectful. Constantly be disrespectful. When all I ever been was respectful to try to help this fighter go as far as he could possibly go. That's all I ever did.
Yeah.
South Florida. Gervonta Davis is accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend in Doral. And this is not the first run-in with the law. Local T's Roy Ramos is live outside of the jail in West Miami-Dade. And I know you have some details on this latest arrest for the boxer. Roy, Christy, and Alex says the charge he is facing is battery with domestic violence. And you mentioned this was an ex-girl. Over the years is constantly going on the internet. Take a shot at Floyd. Take a shot at Floyd. Take a shot at Floyd. Constantly be disrespectful. Constantly be disrespectful when all I ever been was respectful to try to help this fighter go as far as he could possibly go. That's all I ever did. Yeah, gotcha. Floyd Mayweather has broken his silence regarding the arrest of Gervonta Davis, and it's very far from the best comment boxing fans want to hear. In a virtual interview, Floyd Mayweather revealed he wasn't surprised by what happened after being aware of his offense beforehand and was only expecting the authorities to intervene at the right time. You got the little one inside. I knew about it some weeks ago. I was told by my homies in Miami, and I knew the authorities were going to get into it. What I can say about Tank is that Tank has refused to grow from all of these. But I'm not going to talk him down when he's down because I've been in this situation before. Of course, Floyd was referring to his domestic violence case that led him to prison many years ago, but he ended up making himself look less of the criminal he was as he never admitted guilt. You know, he the one told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning Friday. He told Frank that he was giving Frank tips and stuff like that. But I knew for sure that wasn't going to be enough to be. It's cool. It's all right. You know, I don't really think too much of it. I ain't not going to hurt me. You know what I mean? My case was way different from this, but I had to get in there. And when I came out a better person. I learned some things about life. That's what Tank is missing. Tank has missed that step. That's why he's here. I feel sorry for him. I hold no beef against him, but it is what it is. He was then asked about his beef with Roy Jones. Without hesitation, he said, "I'm ready if he's ready." Boxing fans didn't find Floyd Mayweather's claims pleasant, and they were quick to use his past against him, as he's been in similar situations in the past, and even gone to jail as a result. Ex-convict calling another convict a criminal. Floyd is so dumb and full of himself, a fan said. Definitely. Now, today, Gervonta Davis was arrested for domestic violence. He's the champion in your division. What do you think about what's your reaction to that? I don't know about that. You know, I don't know. I don't know personally, and I haven't got a second road. Floyd has got nothing to say here. He's not in the best position to say anything. He's a worse person than Gervonta. Another added, Floyd is easily one of the worst boxing personalities out there. Roy Jones needs to kick his head badly. I was in a lose-lose situation. Now what came out still on top with Floyd? What was the lose-lose situation? What you mean? Just situation. He put me in, you know, make me lose. But he thought I was going to lose. But you talking about like a boxing match, or yeah, boxing match. Who was you on? Have you ever once he was Joseph? My first brother. One more fan who was clearly a Gervonta Davis fan quipped. Gervonta Davis knew what he meant when he wanted to stay off boxing. He's imperfect, but he's better than Floyd by all standards. World Boxing Association lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis, 30, was arrested on Friday morning in Miami Beach, Florida, on a misdemeanor battery charge stemming from an alleged domestic dispute with his ex-girlfriend of 4 years. The arrest comes nearly a month after he allegedly assaulted the mother of 2 of his 3 children on Father's Day outside of her home in Doral. According to an incident report by the Doral Police Department, and I don't know what that mean. I don't like, __, no you don't. DJ do the trash talk. Make you miss. According to the report, Davis's ex-girlfriend told police she was involved in a verbal dispute with the boxer over personal matters and Gervonta having insecurities about the sexuality of their son. Davis had arrived at her residence at 5 p.m. ET on June 15th to pick up his children when the situation escalated. After putting both children in Davis's car, she alleged Davis punched her on the rear of her head with a closed fist and slapped her in the face. She was able to regain custody of her children, which upset Davis further. According to the report, Floyd outdoor him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So, I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't going to lie. Me if I did what I like, if like what he did in the sport, I ain't going to lie, I'd be the same way, you know what I mean. So, I don't like, she said. Davis revved the engine of his vehicle in a threatening manner, but she was able to remove herself from the situation without further incident. Afterward, she went to a local hospital for medical treatment. A note on the report suggested that there had been approximately 10 undocumented physical altercations between Davis and his girlfriend. Davis was taken into custody in Miami Beach before being transported by the Doral Police Department. According to Miami-Dade County's inmate report, Davis was being held at Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center with a $10,000 bond, but has since been released. He has a court hearing slated for July 29th. The star boxer has had numerous run-ins with the law over the years that included domestic violence and multiple traffic offenses. Gervonta Davis, jump into it. I wouldn't say it's a big shock to a lot of us, but there's this mindset. The fight with Lamont's not signed yet. Apparently, he's going to fight Jake Paul. What's it's put in and out of? His last run-in came in December 2022 when he was arrested for allegedly striking a woman with a closed hand type slap. The charges were later dropped. Davis reportedly had been linked to a rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. in August after the two battled to a controversial majority draw in March. However, Premier Boxing Champions has yet to formally announce the fight. Fox Sports' Andy Slater was the first to report the matter, stating that the arrest was because Davis was accused of hitting his ex-girlfriend on the back of the head and slapping her. The victim reported that the defendant instructed her to remove the children from his vehicle, stating he no longer intended to take them. The report reads, while she was positioned at the rear passenger door and leaning forward to retrieve her daughter from the back seat, the defendant, positioned in the driver's seat, struck her in the back of the head. In and out. Bernard, a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it real quick. I'm sure you saw the news about Jeruz being arrested once again. Just give me your thoughts. Unfortunately, man, I hope he'll come out. You know what I mean? Everybody else come out. I'm not with the domestic violence thing, man. But I hope that, he get that straightened out and he get back to focus on his family. Davis then allegedly proceeded to slap the ex on the right side of her face, resulting in a minor laceration to the inner area of her lip. The distressed and crying victim sent a text to her mother, who came outside and filmed part of the incident on her cell phone. The video showed Davis throwing a small box at the victim, says the affidavit. Davis left the scene and the victim went to Baptist Health Hospital to receive medical attention, where she was first interviewed by cops. A probable cause message was entered into the FCIC and NCIC database requesting Davis's detainment should law enforcement come into contact with him. Tank Davis was arrested early this morning on alleged domestic violence and battery charges against his baby mother, who's the mother of two of his children. Vanessa Apeso, I believe her name is now. I'm going to do this in a certain order because I think since people kind of stopped watching videos midway through, I'm going to put some of the most important points I want to make at the beginning of the video. A little after midnight on Friday, they did. The fighter was taken into custody on the 900 block of Lincoln Lane by Miami Beach cops and transported to the Doral Police Department. When presented with a Miranda warning form, the Baltimore native refused to sign it. Police say this marks Davis's second domestic violence arrest in Florida, and it isn't the first run-in with the law for the WBA lightweight champion. On February 27, 2019, Davis had an arrest warrant issued for him in Virginia because of an alleged altercation with a man at an ATM. Tank allegedly shoved a police officer and was charged with 1 count of misdemeanor assault, but the case was dismissed that October. Music. Nearly 1 year later, he was charged with simple battery and domestic violence in Coral Gables, Florida on February 4, 2020. The incident involved the mother of his daughter at the University of Miami, and a video showed him grabbing her by the neck, and pulling her out of her seat, and they walked out of a charity basketball game. 2 days later, Davis turned himself into the Coral Gables Police Department home detention by serving at a 4-season hotel and a 3-for million penthouse rather than trainer Calvin Ford house, as the judge agreed. This is the reason why Tank is now being jailed. Gervonta Davis' lawyer argued that the house was too small for security staff.